Hello, my name is Bill Buckhalter, and my partner Michael Pearman and I would first like to thank all of our backers and everyone who has supported us throughout our Kickstarter campaign. It's been amazing to see the reaction to our Mystix mapping system, and it's been very reassuring to know that there are lots of people out there who are excited about this and as excited as we are to make this a reality. What we'd like to do today is show you a quick video with some tips and tricks of how to use the system, some different ways that you can build things, and then just a few ideas that you can use as you're working with the Mystix mapping system. So we're going to start off today. What we have here is just a board that we've built. It's simply paper tiles underneath a piece of plexiglass. That's one way that you can use the Mystix mapping system, but there are a number of different things you can use to build your maps. You can also use, if you're familiar with piezo flip mats, these will, the Mystix mapping system will stick to these just fine. They stick very well to those. Also, if you're familiar with battle boards or tactiles, these are made by Longtooth Studios. The Mystix will stick to these as well. Basically any smooth kind of plastic or glass surface, the Mystix mapping system will stick to it. The one thing we found that it doesn't stick to is the vinyl kind of textured mats that are made by Mystix. Unfortunately, those don't have a smooth surface, so the Mystix will not stick to those. But again, if you have one and you get yourself a piece of plexiglass like this, you can pick this up at any hardware store, a Lowe's or a Home Depot, and just lay it over the top of your Mystix mat. You'll be just fine. Should stick no problem. I'm going to take a few minutes and build out a dungeon on this map, just to give you an idea of how long it would take to put something together. We're not going to make you sit and watch me build the whole thing. We're going to time lapse it. But what I am going to do is start the stopwatch so that you can see that even though we're time-lapsing it, you can get an idea for exactly how much time it takes. Now, as I build this, there are a few tricks that we found that speed up the process. One of the first is that we recommend you place all the building corners first. Find where the corners of your rooms are going to be, put those down. Find where you're going to put doors and use and put the corners in or the T-intersections in for the doors. Then fill in with all of your walls, and then finally, when you're done, use the bits and pieces to decorate up the dungeon. So let me start the stopwatch here, and I'll get started on building. Okay, so what I have here is a really quick layout. I've just built a couple of rooms and a hallway. I've also kind of built a secret room over here, which will show you what we're going to do with that in a minute. But all of that took me roughly about 13 and a half minutes to build. So say 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, you can throw together a pretty quick, simple dungeon. Not too complicated, but it looks, fantastic. It looks great, and your players are going to really appreciate it. And it's not a lot of prep time for you as a game master. So now what I'm going to do is go over a little bit about how the Mystix mapping system works. So basically what it is it's a vinyl static cling material which you can use to build your dungeons either ahead of time, or you can kind of build on the fly as your players are going through. As you see here, I've left this hallway kind of incomplete. If my players are wandering through the dungeon, then I can add on here with more Mystix as they explore through the dungeon. Or like you see here, you could build everything ahead of time like we did. One of the other cool things you can do with the Mystix mapping system is we like to use these transparency sheets, which you can get from any office supply store or copy supply store. Will sell these plastic transparency sheets. The Mystix will stick fantastic to those. And so as you can see, what I've done here is I've built out a room ahead of time. You could easily use this to build your rooms and then lay them down as the players are going through the dungeon, so that you can kind of reveal things as they go, but yet still have it built a little bit ahead of time. Or what's great, and one of the best uses for these that we've found is, let's say, for example, your players come into this room and they decide that they want to search for secret doors or make a perception check to try to find a false wall or something. They succeed at their check and you say, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. And you can real quickly peel off one wall like this, lay this down, and now you've just revealed the secret room to the players just like that, really quickly. You have this prepared and you have it ready to go, and you can adapt the dungeon to what the players are doing. Another trick that you can use when you're using transparency sheets, as I showed, to add an additional room onto your dungeon, is the sheets, when they come out of the package, will have this just clear vinyl that is around the sheet that's left over from the die cutting. One tip and trick that we've found is if you take these pieces and cut them up into small little strips, you take all that clear backing that's around the edges, peel it all off of your backer board and cut it into these strips. You can use those kind of as tape, if you will, to secure your transparencies down to the table. So a couple of those on the corners, and now that transparency isn't going to move as your players are playing on that extra room. The whole system is kind of interactive in that way. Even if your players were to come in here and say, well, we'd like to open this door. Okay, fine, you can really easily peel the door up, you can move it to the side, and now the door is open and the players can move through to the hallway. And everything's interactive like that, right down to the lighting effects on all the different torches and braziers. If they came in here and this torch was unlit and they said they wanted to light it, all of the lighting effects are done on a clear vinyl piece like this, so you can just lay that lighting effect down and now that torch is lit. Even with the braziers here, all of the lighting effects for the braziers are on a clear piece, so you can have a brazier that's unlit or you can have a brazier that's lit, depending on what your players do and how they interact with the map. What's really great about the system is once you're finished and you're done playing, everything is static cling. There's no adhesives that are going to wear out or go bad over time, so you can use these pieces over and over and over again. So there have been a lot of questions about the durability of the Mystix mapping system, and what I wanted to show you was exactly how durable these pieces really are, because they are quite durable. They stretch quite a bit and go back to shape. You can twist and bend them without any problem at all. As a matter of fact, even I could take this whole piece and crumple it up into just a tiny little ball like this. And then when I'm done, if I unravel it and stick it back down to a slick surface to smooth it back out, so I just stick it back on the board, kind of smooth it out like that a few times, and peel it right back up, and it's pretty much as good as new. So the pieces are very durable. They'll take quite a bit of abuse before you're able to actually damage them. So they're all 100% waterproof, as you've seen in our video. If I were to spill all over this, I could simply peel them all up, wash them all off. As a matter of fact, a little bit of water actually helps them stick a little bit. It's kind of that suction cup effect where you get a suction cup wet before you put it on a window. It's the same thing with these clings. A little bit of water actually helps them stick better. When you're done, you simply peel everything up you stick it back on its backer boards in a binder. All of the pieces are going to come out of the package ready to peel, stick, and play. They're all on backer sheets like this that are pre-die cut. So when you take it out of the package, you'll be able to peel it right off, play with it immediately, and then when you're done, you can stick everything right back onto the sheets that it came out of the package and stick it in a binder and take it with you. As you probably see in the video, we've taken the time to reorganize our binder just using glossy photo paper because, again, the pieces stick to anything with that kind of glossy, smooth surface. So this is simply glossy photo paper, which we've organized all of our pieces on. And as a thank you to all of our backers in the Kickstarter project, we'll be releasing the PDFs of this organization system, so you'll be able to print your own organizing system on some glossy photo paper and create your own organized binder if that's what you'd like to do. All of the pieces will come out of the package 3-hole punched. These are only prototype sheets, but the final sheets will be 8.5 by 11 and they'll be 3-hole punched. So again, right out of the package, they'll be ready to play with, put them back on, and stick in a binder. You don't have to go through the organizing, but it definitely makes it easier when you're building later in the future. This is what we call our Dungeon Core Pack, these 4 sheets right here. This is what you get for $18 right out of the package. So we are also planning expansion packs, which will have things like spell effects, new walls, which are curved, corners, which are at a 45-degree angle, so you can make octagonal walls. Lots of new bits and pieces, so you'll have more options for decorating up your dungeon. And even we have a sewers expansion planned so that you can turn your dungeon into a sewer. And if we get lots of support and the Kickstarter really takes off, we're even looking at branching out into different themes. We know a lot of people are interested in seeing forests, they're interested in seeing caverns, they're interested in seeing sci-fi terrain and that sort of thing. The possibilities with this system are really endless and really depend on you and how much support you folks can give us. Thank you for backing us. We really appreciate your excitement and your support of our project, and thanks for watching.